Just 2 syllables, 3 consonants, and 4 vowels. Failure. No word receives more shame and is as widely feared as the word failure. Every one of us knows that gut-wrenching sensation, that feeling of defeat that comes from failure. But what many of us fail to realize is that mistakes are a fundamental part of success and can become the key to victory. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share with you a mistake that has changed our world. It was November the 9th, 1989, a time when East Berlin was still cut off from the rest of the world by the Berlin Wall. The government of East Berlin decided to ease political pressure by allowing some East Germans to travel temporarily to the West. Gunter Schabowski, a spokesperson for the East German government, was tired after a long night of work. Next morning, he had to deliver the news on the travel regulation updates, but had not read them fully himself. Facing journalists flashing cameras and scribbling notepads, an interviewer asked whether it was true that the borders were opening. Confused and fatigued, Gunter's answer was unclear, but 3 words stood out. Immediately, right away. Reporters pounced, and as the word quickly traveled to citizens, a small trickle of East Berlin citizens grew to massive crowds, chanting, "Open the gates!" Unable to get clarification from leaders, the guards eventually gave in, and 40 years of iron-fisted control over East Berlin was toppled. Families reunited, Germans rejoiced, and it was a historical moment marking the end of an era. Today, where the militarized border split Germany into 2, a faint 860-mile scar remains. It is green. After a long-running battle between landowners, government authorities, and environmentalists, the federal government declared it to be a park. So now, today, it was an insurmountable obstacle, and now crossing the strip has become a literal walk in the park. Although Gunter Schabowski's mistake may have appeared as a fatal error for the Soviet Union, looking back, we can look at it in a positive light. Many of the monetary inequalities caused by Germany's past division has been resolved through the implementation of welcome money to East Germans. In the past, Germans lived off of a bland and homogeneous economy. Today, Germans from all regions can access a plethora of exotic foods and luxuries. What at one time may be conceived as a failure can from another perspective be interpreted as the right decision. And the story of how the Berlin Wall fell tells us that we must not be afraid to make mistakes, but embrace them, for they can be essential to progress. As Michael Jordan once said, "I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed."